Next, I am going to discuss some special cases in center of mass. You don't write the notes now. Please stop writing the notes. You can just again concentrate only to listen to me. I will be showing you the notes for these special cases separately after my discussion. But at present, don't write the note. Just concentrate only to listen. So I am going to discuss some special cases which we come across while discussing examples and questions in this topic. So in some of the problems, all the particles of system may have same mass. So M1, M2, let us consider system of n particles of same mass denoted by m. That means M1 equal to M2 equal to M3 up to Mn. Mass of each particle is supposed denoted by small m. The next coordinate center of mass equal to M1 x1 means m into x1 plus M2 x2 means m into x2 plus M3 x3. M3 is also equal to m, etc. up to Mn xn. Mn is also equal to m. Divided by M1, that is equal to m, plus M2 plus M3 up to Mn. That means same term to be repeated n times. So you can take m common here. M into x1 plus x2 plus x3 up to xn. Divided by m plus m n times. So m into n. So you get x coordinate of center of mass system of n particles is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3, etc. up to xn divided by n. That is small m gets cancelled here. That means if all the n particles of the system have same mass m, the next coordinate center of mass of the n particles is the arithmetic mean. Am is arithmetic mean of x1, x2, x3, etc. up to xn. Arithmetic mean of x coordinates of all the particles. Similarly, the y coordinate of center of mass system of the n particles will be given by y1 plus y2 plus y3 up to yn divided by n. That means arithmetic mean of y1, y2, y3 up to yn. The same way, the z coordinate of center of mass of system of the n particles which have same mass, you can write z1 plus z2 plus z3 etc. up to zn divided by n. For example, if we have system of two particles of same mass n equal to 2, then x coordinate center of mass we can write x1 plus x2 y2. Y coordinate center of mass will be y1 plus y2 y2. The same way z coordinate center of mass will be z1 plus z2 y2. That means if you consider 2 point masses which have same mass, 2 equal point masses separated by certain distance, then center of mass system of the two particles lies exactly at the midpoint of the line joining the two particles. Suppose if you consider a system of 3 point masses which are not placed on collinear points, if they are placed at 3 non-collinear points, if you consider a system of 3 particles of same mass m, which are placed at 3 different points not lying on a straight line, that means non-collinear points, then n equal to 3. If n equal to 3, then x coordinate center of mass will be given by x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. Similarly, y-coordinate center of mass will be y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. The same way, z-coordinate center of mass will be z1 plus z2 plus z3 by 3. Suppose if the three particles lie at three non-collinear points, then the plane containing the three particles, you can choose it as the xy plane for convenience. The plane containing the 3 point masses can be considered as the xy plane. That is the plane formed by the three particles. In that case, z coordinate for each particle is 0 and z coordinate center of mass will be 0. That means if the 3 point mass lie in the xy plane, the center of mass also lies in the xy plane. I mean center of mass of 3 particles lie in the xy plane. If the 3 point masses have same mass and they don't lie on a straight line, they are lying at the non-collinear point, so that they lie at the vertex of a triangle. Then x coordinate center of mass is given by x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. Y coordinate center of mass is given by y1 plus y2 by 3. That means point of center of mass system of the 3 point masses, which lie at the 3 vertices of a triangle, lies at the centroid of the triangle formed by the locations of the 3 point masses. So point of center of mass will lie at the centroid of the triangle. So next I am going to discuss the special case 2. So you just concentrate only to listen, don't write the notes now. I will be showing you the notes separately. So coming to the next case. So in some of the problems, all the point masses in a particular example may lie on a straight line. Let us consider a system of collinear point masses. Let go with the origin of coordinate system. That means let us consider a system of n point masses, m1, m2, m3, etc. up to mn. All the particles lie on a straight line. If all the point masses lie on the same straight line, then the line joining all the particles, for convenience, we may take it as x-axis. Let go with the origin of the coordinate system. That means Y is the reference point from where we want to find the distance of center of mass. That means the first particle is the distance x1 from this origin O, second particle is the distance x2 from origin O, like that. Third particle distance x3 from the origin O. So here y coordinate for each particle is 0 when each particle lies on x-axis. So of course x coordinate center of mass will be written in the usual way, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 etc. up to mn xn divided by sum of the masses of all the n particles of the system. But y coordinate of each particle is 0. So y coordinate center of mass is given by m1 y1. y1 is 0 plus m2 y2. y2 is also 0. m3 y3 up to mn yn is also 0. Divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 etc. up to mn. So y coordinate center of mass is 0. The same way, in this case, when all the particles lie on x-axis, then z coordinate for each particle is 0. z1 is 0, z2 is 0, zn is 0. In the same way, you get z coordinate center of mass also as 0. So y coordinate center of mass is 0, z coordinate center of mass is also 0. Means center of mass system of the n particles also lies on x-axis at a distance x subscript cm from origin, given by m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 up to mn xn divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 up to mn. The conclusion of this discussion is that case 2, The center of mass system of point masses always lies on the same straight line on which the masses lie upon. That means center of mass system of collinear point masses always lies on the same straight line on which the point masses lie upon. So next I am going to discuss the next special case 3, specifically about the case where you have system of 2 point masses. So consider a system of 2 point masses now. Next I am going to discuss about the case of system of 2 point masses. We come across good number of problems and examples in future where you have system of 2 bodies or system of 2 point masses separated by certain distance. Let us consider body of mass m1 with its center of mass at c1. Let us consider another body of mass m2 whose center of mass is at c2. c2 denote the position of center of mass of second mass m2. c1 denote position of center of mass of first mass m1. That means a body of mass m1, a rigid body with mass m1, can be considered a point mass m1 located at the position of its center of mass denoted by c1. If you consider a second rigid body of mass m2, it can be also considered the point mass located at the position of its center of mass c2. Then line joining c1 and c2, for convenience, we can take it as x-axis. Let O be the origin of the coordinate system, or some reference point from which we want to find the position of center of mass. So we choose the line joining C1 and C2, that is line joining the 2 particles as x-axis. Let small r denote the separation between the 2 point masses. Let x1 be the distance of m1 from origin. Let x2 be the distance of m2 from origin. All of you just concentrate only to listen. Don't copy the notes at present. I will be showing you the notes separately. So, as I discussed in the previous case, center of mass system of 2 particles or system of collinear particles lies on the same straight line which the particles lie. That means in this case also, y coordinate for each mass is 0 and z coordinate for each particle is 0. Therefore, y coordinate center of mass is 0 and z coordinate center of mass also 0. That means center of mass of system of the 2 particles lies on x-axis. That means in general, center of mass system of 2 particles lies on the same straight line on which the particles lie upon. So the x-coordinate of center of mass given by m1x1 plus m2x2 by m1 plus m2. So the center of mass system of the 2 particles lies on the line joining the 2 particles and in between the 2 particles. So here xcm is the distance of center of mass system of the 2 particles from the origin. Let d1 denote distance of center of mass system of the 2 particles from first particle of mass m1. And let d2 denote distance of center of mass system of the 2 particles from second particle of mass m2. You can observe from the figure, d1 is the distance between c1 and c. C is the position of center of mass system of the 2 particles of mass of m1 and m2. C is the position of center of mass of the first body of mass m1. C2 is the position of center of mass second body of mass M2. So you can observe from the figure x1 plus d1 equal to xcm. So d1 can be written as xcm minus x1. xcm equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2 minus x1. So you can try to simplify this yourself. You get m1 x1 plus m2 x2 minus m1 x1 minus m2 x1 by m1 plus m2. So d1 is equal to m2 into x2 minus x1 by m1 plus m2. You can observe from the figure x2 minus x1 equal to separation r between the two particles. That means distance of center of mass of system of the two particles from first particle of mass m1. You can write m2r by m1 plus m2. So you can look at the figure. If d1 is the distance between c1 and c, d2 is the distance between c2 and c, and small r is the distance between c1 and c2, then you can write d1 plus d2 equal to r. So d2 can be written as r minus d1. So that you can write r minus m2r by m1 plus m2. This can be simplified further. So you get d2 equal to m1r by m1 plus m2. So d1 is given by m2r by m1 plus m2. d2 is given by m1r by m1 plus. Now we can divide d1 with d2. Therefore d1 by d2. You get m2 by m1. That is r gets cancelled on right side. R by m1 plus m2. R by m1 plus m2 is a common factor on the right hand side in these two equations for in the two expressions for d1 and d2. So you get d1 by d2 equal to m2 by m1, or m1 d1 equal to m2 d2. That means what? This equation implies that position of center of mass system of the two particles independent of the choice of the origin. So ratio of the distances of the two particles from their center of mass will be equal to inverse ratio of their masses. So the conclusion is that in general for system of 2 point masses, I mean the center of mass of system of 2 point masses always lies in between the 2 point masses and the line joining the 2 point masses, such that the ratio of the distances of the two particles from their center of mass will be equal to inverse ratio of their masses. And this conclusion will be used directly in a good number of examples which we are going to discuss in future. So now next I am going to show you the notes for these three special cases which I have already discussed now, so that you can get ready with your notebook and pen. I am going to show you the notes or summary of the discussions I have done so far for the three special cases, so that you can write the notes for the three special cases which I have already discussed now. So next I am going to show you the notes for the special cases which I already discussed in this class. So those who are writing the notes, please get ready with your notebook and pen. You can start writing the notes now. Special cases, case 1. If M1 equal to M2 equal to M3 equal to Mn up to small m, Mn each equal to small m, suppose say, then xcm equal to the equation xcm equal to M1 x1 plus M2 x2 plus M3 x3 up to Mn xn divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3. Can substitute M1 equal to M, M2 equal to M, M3 equal to M, Mn equal to M, like that. So you get xcm equal to M into x1 plus x2 plus x3 up to xn divided by Mn, or xcm equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3 up to xn by n. That means xcm is the arithmetic mean of x1, x2, x3 up to xn. Come on, finish writing the notes. In case you need more time to copy the notes, you can take a pause and take your time. Similarly, y coordinate center of mass can be written as y1 plus y2 plus y3 up to in by n. I mean, if all the particles of the system have same mass. And z coordinate center of mass, you can write z1 plus z2 plus z3 up to zn divided by n. That is, z coordinate center of mass is the arithmetic mean of all z coordinates of n particles. Come on, finish copying this. In case you need more time to copy the notes, you can take a pause. I am going to show the notes for the case 2. Case 2, I have given the conclusion first. The center of mass system of collinear particles lies on the straight line on which the particles lie upon. That means in the figure I have shown system of n point masses m1, m2, m3 up to mn which lie on a straight line. Where is the origin of the coordinate system? We are choosing the line joining all the particles at x-axis. Can copy down the conclusion first. Case 2. In case you need more time, you can take a pause and copy down. I'm going to show the continuation. Here y1 equal to y2 equal to y3 equal up to yn equal to 0 because all the particles are on x-axis. So y coordinate center of mass is 0. Z1 equal to 0, Z2 equal to Z3 up to Zn equal to 0 implies Z coordinate center of mass is 0. Therefore, center of mass lies on x-axis. Come on, finish copying this part. If y coordinate center of mass 0, Z coordinate center of mass is 0 means center of mass lies on x-axis. Means center of mass lies on the same straight line on which all the collinear particles lie upon. Come on, finish copying. In case you need more time, we can take a pause. I am going to show you the notes for next special case 3. Coming to the case 3, first I have shown you the conclusion statement of special case 3, which I have discussed before. The center of mass of system of two particles always lies in between the two particles on the line joining them, such that the ratio of the distances of the two particles from their center of mass will be equal to inverse ratio of their masses. Come on, copy down this conclusion. It's a result you have to remember. In case you need more time to copy this conclusion, you can take a pause and more time. I am going to next show you the working for this conclusion. First, I have shown you the conclusion directly. Next, I am going to show you the working for this conclusion, which I have already discussed before. You can see the figure. This point, this is the position of first particle of mass m1. This is the position of the center of mass of second particle of mass m2. So x1 is the distance of center of mass of first particle of mass m1 from some fixed point O, which we take it as origin. x2 is the distance of center of mass of second particle of mass m2 from same origin O. Of course, here we are taking the line joining the centers of masses of m1 m2 as origin. I'm sorry, the line joining the centers of m1 and m2 we are taking it as x-axis, and O is the origin of coordinate system which lies to the left side of m1. d1 is the distance of center of mass of system of the two particles from center of first particle of mass m1. d2 is the distance of center of mass system of the two particles from second particle of mass m2. Small r is the distance between the two particles. Come on, finish copying the diagram. Here also y1 equal to 0, y2 equal to 0, so y coordinate center of mass is 0. z1 is 0, z2 is 0, z coordinate center of mass is 0. That means center of mass lies on x-axis. Come on, copy down this diagram and working. So that next I will be showing the continuation for this. In case you need more time to copy this, you can take a pause and take your time. X square and a center of mass, we can write m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2. And x2 can be written as here from the figure I have shown previously. You can observe x2 can be written as x1 plus small r. Again, I am coming back to the calculation. So x2 I have substituted x1 plus small r. This you can write it as m1 x1 plus m2 x1 by m2r by m1 plus m2. You can take x1 common in the first two terms here. So xcm we get m1 plus m2 into x1 by m1 plus m2 plus m2r by m1 plus m2. So xcm equal to x1 plus m2r by m1 plus m2. Come on, finish copying up to here. Of course, before you copy this working, you have to copy the diagram I have shown earlier. Only then you will be able to understand this working. In case you need more time, you can take a pause and copy down. So from the figure you can write x1 plus d1 equal to xcm, or d1 equal to xcm minus x1. So we can have substituted here xcm equal to x1 plus m2r by m1 plus m2. So you get distance of center of mass from m1 equal to d1 equal to m2r by m1 plus m2. You can write d1 plus d2 equal to r, or d2 equal to r minus d1. You can substitute d1 equal to m2r by m1 plus m2. You can simplify this further. Come on, those who are writing the notes, finish writing. So here plus m2r minus m2r gets cancelled. So in case you need more time to copy this working, you can take a pause and take your time. I am going to show the notes continuation for this. So distance of center of mass from M2. This M2 you can write here. So distance of center of mass from M2 is equal to D2, that can be M1R by M1 plus M2. So you get D1 by D2 equal to M2 by M1. Come on, all of you finish copying up to here. So in case you need more time to copy this working, you can take a pause and take your time. Next, I am going to discuss one more special case. I call it as case 4. To copying up to here, you can stop writing. Again, you can stop writing and just concentrate to listen. I will show you the notes for case 4 later. First, I would like to discuss the next case first. Just concentrate to listen after copying up to this step. So you find good number of examples and problems given in different books and also in previous entrance examinations, where a portion of a small piece is removed from one edge of the uniform plate, and you may be asked to find distance of center of mass of the remaining plate from center of the original plate. Let us consider a circular plate of radius R. Uniform circular plate. Uniform circular plate means it has same thickness and same density throughout. So you just concentrate only to listen. Don't copy the working at present. I will show you the working separately. Let us consider uniform circular plate. Means it has same thickness and density throughout, and which has radius denoted by R. Similar calculation we use or follow for all such problems wherever you are given that a small piece or portion of a uniform plate is removed, and you may be asked to find distance from center of mass of the remaining plate from center of original plate. So we have to compare the masses of the remaining plate and mass of the piece removed in such problems. You have to first find the ratio of the mass of the remaining plate and mass of the circular or piece which is removed. Let us suppose circular piece. I will show you the notes separately where you have the diagram with more clarity. Let us suppose small circular piece with radius denoted by small r is removed from one edge of the original plate. Let's see with the center of original plate. That means for original plate, center of mass lies at C. Let M1 with the mass of the remaining plate. Let M2 denote the mass of the circular piece which is removed from one edge. Let C1 denote center of mass of M1, means center of mass of the remaining plate. Let C1 denote the center of mass of the remaining plate of mass M1. Let C2 denote the center of mass of the circular piece removed, which lies at the geometric center of circular piece. Let C be the center of mass of original plate. Suppose if the small circular piece which is removed from the edge is again put back in its original position. Suppose the small circular piece which is removed from the edge is again put back in the original position. Where will be the center of mass of system of M1 and M2? The center of mass system of the M1 and M2 will be at C. That means center of mass system will be again at C. As I discussed before, in general, if C1 is center of mass of one body of mass M1, and C2 is the center of mass of another body of mass M2, and C is the center of mass of system of the two bodies, then C lies between C1 and C2. On the line joining C1 and C2, C lies in between C1 and C2 on the line joining C1 and C2. So that the ratio of distances of the two bodies from their center of mass will be equal to inverse ratio of their masses. So C1 is the center of mass. Coming back to the special case, C1 is center of mass remaining plate with mass m1. C2 is center of mass of circular piece of mass m2 which is removed from the edge. C lies in between C1 and C2, means C1 lies to the left side of C. So let D1 denote distance of center of mass of remaining plate from center of original plate. Let D2 denote distance between C2 and C. So D1 by D2 you can write M2 by M1 as explained earlier. So I have to find the ratio of M2 and M1. So mass of the original plate is M1 plus M2. The mass of circular piece is denoted by M2. The original plate is circular in shape and the mass M2 is also circular in shape. So mass equal to volume into density. Volume we can write face volume of the circular plate can be written as face area into thickness. Let capital A denote the face area. What is the original circular plate? Into thickness. Let T denote the thickness. This gives the volume of the original circular plate. Into density gives the mass of the plate. Rho denote the density here. T thickness. Mass M2 of circular piece removed is equal to area of circular piece removed. I denote it by small a or A2. Into A2 into T. That means face area of circular piece into thickness gives the volume of circular piece into density. It is uniform circular piece, so thickness and density are same for both. So left side you can write M1 by M2 plus M2 by M2 on the right side. T into rho get cancelled. Face area of the original circular plate you can write pi into Kepler square. Face area of small circular piece you can write pi into small r square. So M1 by M2 is equal to Kepler square by small r square. This M2 by M2 will be equal to 1. Taken to minus 1. So you get D can write for a system of two bodies D1 by D2 equal M2 by M1. From here M1 by M2 you get Kepler r square minus small r square by small r square. So M2 by M1 can be written as small r square by Kepler square minus small r square. From this D1 can be written as M2 by M1 into D2. M2 by M1 you can write Kepler square minus small r square by small r square. That is M1 by M2. So M2 by M1 you can write it as small r square by Kepler square minus small r square into D2. So D2 is the distance the center of mass of the circular piece removed from center of original plate. D1 is the distance the center of mass remaining plate from center of the original plate. The circular piece is removed from one edge of the plate. In that case, you can write D2 plus small r equal to Kepler. You can see from the figure. Or D2 you can write Kepler minus small r. So we can substitute here. D2 equal to Kepler minus small r is numerator on the right side. Denominator Kepler square minus small r square, you can write Kepler minus small r into Kepler plus small r. So distance of, so Kepler minus small r gets cancelled. So distance of center of mass remaining plate from center of original plate, you get small r square by Kepler plus small r. So I don't mean you should remember the conclusion. In case sometimes you are given some problem or question in one of the entrance examinations, based on the conclusion, you can directly use the conclusion and solve the problem. But in case you are unable to remember the conclusion also, you should be able to solve the problem. That's why we are discussing the method completely. So for next, I am going to show you the notes for this case 4. So that now again get ready with your notes and pen, notebook and pen. I am going to show the notes for same case now. So look at this case 4 here. That means the same case which I just now discussed. I am going to first to show you the conclusion. You can come and copy this notes. First I am going to show you the conclusion. Next I will be showing you the working so that you can copy the working also. I will read out the conclusion first. Suppose if from one edge of a thin uniform circular plate of radius Kepler, a small circular piece of radius small r is removed, then the distance of center of mass of the remaining plate from center of the original plate is given by d1 equal to small r square by Kepler plus small r. Come on, copy down the conclusion. In case you need more time to copy the conclusion, you can take a pause and take your own time. I am going to show the working for this conclusion which I have just discussed before. This is the figure here. M1 is the mass of the remaining plate, M2 is the mass of circular piece removed from the edge. Kepler is the radius of original plate. C is center of mass of the original plate. D1 is the distance of center of mass of the remaining plate from center of original plate. D2 is the distance of center of the circular piece which is removed from the one edge from center of original plate. As explained here, M1 plus M2 by M2. M1 plus M2 is the total mass of the original plate. Then you can write AT into rho. That is typed like, looks like L. You can use any letter to denote density rho or L. Here L represents density here. You can take, or we can make it as rho here. So you get M1 plus M2 by M2. That is ratio of the mass of the original plate to the mass of circular piece removed equal ratio of the original of area of the original plate and area of circular piece removed. Area of original plate you can write pi into Kepler square. Area of circular piece removed equal pi to small r square. Small r is the radius of this circular piece which is removed from one edge. So you can left side you can write M1 by M2 plus M2 by M2. Right side you get Kepler square by small r square. So you get M1 by M2 equal to Kepler square by small r square minus 1. That is Kepler square minus small r square by small r square. So M2 by M1 you get small r square by Kepler square minus small r square. Come on, finish copying up to here first. All of you first finish copying the notes up to here. So in case you need more time to copy the notes, you can take a pause and take your own time. I am going to show the notes continuation for this. Can write d2 plus small r equal to Kepler, or d2 equal to Kepler minus small r if the small piece is removed, circular piece removed from one edge. And d1 by d2 equal to m2 by m1. Or d1 equal d2 into m2 by m1. You can substitute here d2 equal to Kepler minus small r. And m2 by m1 as we have discussed before is equal to small r square by Kepler square minus small r square. So in the denominator on the right side you can write Kepler square minus small r square as Kepler minus small r into Kepler plus small r. So Kepler minus small r gets cancelled. So you get d1 equal to small r square by Kepler plus small r. Come on, all of you copy down the working. Finish writing. In case you need more time to copy this working, you can take a pause and take your own time. I am going to show you one problem based on this special case 4. Look at this problem. This is the first problem which I am going to discuss in this topic, center of mass in conservation linear momentum. Look at the problem on the screen. From one edge of a thin uniform circular plate of radius 9 centimeter, a small circular piece of radius 1 centimeter is removed. What is the distance of center of mass of the remaining plate from center of the original plate? So I am going to directly use the conclusion which I just now discussed to solve this problem. Here, so this problem is based on the special case which I have just now discussed. Here, the radius of the original plate is given as 9 centimeter, and radius of this small circular piece which is removed from one edge is given denoted by small r, that is 1 centimeter. As I discussed before this, if from one edge of a circular plate of radius capital R, the small circular piece of radius small r is removed, then distance of center of mass of the remaining plate from center of original plate is given by d1 equal to small r square by capital R plus small r. Here small r is 1 centimeter. Capital R plus small r will be 9 plus 1 centimeter. So you get answer as 0.1 centimeter. That's the answer. So we want to copy the working. You can take a pause and copy the working. So in my next class, I am going to discuss about the velocity and acceleration of center of mass and principle of conservation of linear momentum.